To the football show here on Sky Scottish. Celtic face Kilmarnock tonight and will be going live to Parkhead shortly to speak to Celtic assistant manager Billy Stark and Kilmarnock boss Bobby Williamson. Our reporter Neil Henderson will be trackside to bring us all the up-to-date team news before the big kick-off. These transfer deals in a moment, but for now it's all eyes towards Parkhead, where I'm delighted to say we're joined live by a Celtic assistant manager Billy Stark. Billy, thank you for coming on the football show. It's fair to say that every game Celtic play is a crucial one now.
Very much so. I think we set out at the start of the season knowing that every game had to be won, and I don't think the circumstances have changed any now.
What about all the speculation over the last couple of weeks? Players coming, players on a clear-out. Has that unsettled some of your players going into the game?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously it can do, but we've got a good squad of professionals here, and they know what the job's about, and hopefully they'll show that tonight.
Obviously, the last time you met Kilmarnock, a 3-1 victory, there'll be no maybe confidence of thinking you're going to have a goals glut tonight again.
Oh no, not at all. I think if you check back last season, every single game we had with Kilmarnock was fraught with danger, and you know, we had a couple of draws, and even in the game that you spoke of down at Rugby Park earlier this season, Kilmarnock would be far the better side in the first half and deservedly in front, and it was only the introduction of Paulo Di Canio that turned things round for us in the second half. So there'll be no complacency here tonight, I can assure you of that.
I know Paulo Di Canio is a man who's certainly lightening up the Celtic fans. You're well happy with him, but 5-0 against Motherwell on Saturday. You must be delighted that you stopped losing goals at the back end.
Well, it's always nice to get a shutout, and you know, that's a fair point. We've lost goals that were certainly preventable, but Motherwell's always a sticky fixture for us, and probably not one that we would have picked after an Old Firm defeat. So it was pleasing to win so comfortably on Saturday, because Motherwell normally make it very difficult for us, as Kilmarnock do, and I'm sure Bobby will have them well fired up tonight, because the one thing about them is they've got a great spirit about them, and you've got to go the full 90 minutes with them.
Billy, thanks for joining us on the football show. Billy Stark there, talking about the prospects in the match against Kilmarnock this evening. Bill Leckie, Derek Johnson. Derek, first of all, really, it's a case of Celtic cannot even afford a draw in any game now.
No, they've got to win. I'm obviously being 14 points behind, but I'll tell you what a magnificent result it was on Saturday. After the defeat by Rangers, Motherwell always make it tight for Celtic, and to win by 5 goals, and quite rightly you said they didn't lose any, because defensively Celtic have been a nightmare this year. From midfield going forward, always look as if they'll score goals, but defensively they're always losing them. But you're right, pressure is on them every game. They have to get 3 points.
Both manager and assistant Bill Leckie are standing up there, and quite literally every day now they're receiving some form of bad press. It must be affecting the players in there.
Where's the bad press?
Well, coming from your newspaper is one of them, because...
Well, Celtic have had no bad press in my newspaper. They've had realistic press. They've had a press that tells them to calm down a bit and stop trying to blame the world for them losing to Rangers. They've had a press saying that some players... We've had Andy Tom saying, I want to stay. We've had other stories saying that players might be allowed to leave.
But what about the situation, Bill, where we have a situation where they say Andy Tom is on his way out? That surely unsettles a player.
Well, Andy Thomas told us that he is under contract, he wants to stay there. That's a good player's way of saying that if they want rid of me, they'll need to shift me quickly and give me some money, if not, stay at the end of my contract. But the player himself is perfectly calm about the situation.
Well, thanks very much. We'll come back to that in a moment, but I'm happy to say that joining us live from Celtic Park at the moment is the Kilmarnock manager, Bobby Williamson. Bobby, thank you for coming on the football show. It's obviously a difficult time for Kilmarnock, trying to get as many points as possible and steer clear of relegation.
That's right, every game's a battle for us now, Peter, to the end of the season, but we'll go out and we'll just give it our best shot and see what we can get out of it.
What about the situation that you're forced into tonight with players unavailable? You must be clearly unhappy that you're not fielding your strongest side.
Definitely, it's hard enough coming to Parkhead with a strong side, never mind a weakened side, but I've got confidence in the 11 guys that's going to take the field and the 3 subs, and I'm sure they'll represent Kilmarnock Football Club in the right manner.
What about the feeling among the players in there? Because when results don't go their way, it tends to affect them, and this is a critical second half of the season, Bobby.
That's right, Peter. Everybody knows in football you've got to be confident if you're going out in that park. And Saturday we took a defeat from Dundee United, but I felt we took it in the right manner. We competed well, and the goals they scored against us were really good goals. So we've just got to try and get that confidence back again and go out and try and show what we can do tonight.
you're going to have to use the players that you have available over the forthcoming months. Is it your intention to try and strengthen the squad or swap a few players?
Well, I'll just have to see how it goes, Peter. I'll put pressure on them from within, because we've got guys there now it's breathing down their necks wanting their jerseys, so the pressure will all come within, and if it doesn't come from within, then I've got to look outside.
Must be a blow. Feel sorry for Neil Whitworth. A second injury there. First of all, sick, and then getting that bad blow with the ankle break.
Well, he's had this problem with his ankle for a long time now, and the X-rays have shown that it may have been a lot longer than 5 months. We don't really know. But until we find out what the real cause of the injury was, we don't really know at the moment in time. But he's going for more checks, and they'll see a specialist during the week.
Just briefly, Bobby, you'll know more than anybody that it's always difficult at Celtic Park trying to get the 3 points.
It's very difficult against Celtic anywhere, especially at Parkhead. But as I said, we'll go out and we'll give it our best shot for the Kilmarnock people, and hopefully we can get something out of it.
Bobby, thanks for joining us in the football show.
Thanks very much.
Kilmarnock facing a difficult match ahead, but since Bobby Williamson took over the reins at Rugby Park, it hasn't exactly gone according to plan. Our reporter Neil Henderson takes a look at his record in charge.
Bobby Williamson's short reign at Rugby Park.
We'll have to come back to that report from Neil Henderson. We can see that Killie report now. Here's Neil Henderson. Coming up now, here's Neil Henderson with that Kilmarnock report.
Mixed fortunes. In the last 5 games, the record is 2 wins and 3 defeats. 2 of those most recently against Dundee United, the most improved side in the division. Tommy McLean's team were the first to visit Ayrshire as Williamson tried to stamp his authority on the team. There was little to smile about for the support as United went back to Tannadice with a 2-0 win under their belts. The picture was much brighter 7 days later. Hearts were the victims of a reshuffled Killie side who came out deserved 2-0 winners. The brief spell of good form continued, with Aberdeen in line to suffer defeat at Rugby Park. 3-0 was the final scoreline. So much hope then after 2 key wins, but since then the picture has been bleak. At Ibrox, despite scoring first, they lost 4-2 in the end, and the winter weather played havoc with the fixture card, and Killie have 2 matches in hand. Tonight, with 11 players sidelined, the intimidating Celtic Park atmosphere and opponents capable of scoring a high number of goals, the odds are certainly stacked against Kilmarnock.
Well, it's fair to say that Celtic almost certainly the favourites in tonight's match. Are you expecting a barrel of goals, Derek?
I don't think there'll be a barrel load of goals because Kilmarnock will set their stall out not to do that. I think they will defend, they'll rely on the break, and I think Celtic are going to have to play well. It may take them a while to get the first goal, but I think they'll certainly win it by a couple of goals, yeah.
It's a strange situation, Bill, over the last couple of weeks. Certain teams have had somewhere in the region of Rangers, 28 players with sick notes. Kilmarnock are faced with 12 players out of the squad, and yet they're still forced to play games, and the fans are expected to pay to see what is a less than strong side.
Yeah, the Rangers situation was an absolute disgrace, Peter, and Falkirk side yesterday to have tonight's game in St Mirren called off because of 12 sick notes. Kilmarnock have got the same situation. I don't see the point of having a system where doctors legitimately put in sick notes and more than a team's worth, and you're not allowed to call the game off. Surely there must be some way of saying, well, after so many notes going, we must call a game off. Kilmarnock have got a hard enough job, as Bobby says, going there tonight without playing against a full-strength Celtic team with half their own team missing. It's just, especially as last season, if you looked at one team apart from Rangers that denied Celtic the league, it was Kilmarnock. 3 draws they took off Celtic. Kilmarnock are the kind of team who could do it again tonight with a full-strength side.
Well, we can now go back to Celtic Park, just talking about the situation with players available and those sitting it out tonight. I'm delighted to say our reporter Neil Henderson joins us. Neil, first of all, what's the latest team news on both camps?
Well, I could give you the teams, Peter. For Celtic, they line up Kerr, Boyd, Gray, McNamara, Mackay, O'Donnell, DiCario, McStay, Van Hooijdonk, Hanna and Cadet. On the bench, Morten Weghorst, of course, linked with a move to Hibs in a swap for Darren Jackson, Simon Donnelly and Chris Hay. And for Kilmarnock, well, a seriously depleted squad. 11 players out, 11 first-team regulars out, and Lekovic, MacPherson, McGowne, Tallon, Kerr, Hamilton, Reilly, Burke, Wright and Mitchell on the bench, Brown, Roberts and Doig. Well, certainly tonight, Celtic, they're brimming with confidence. We'll have over 40,000 fans here and a great match in prospect.
Neil, thank you very much for the moment. Again, highlighted there, Bill. a situation where 12 players out, it doesn't look good for Kilmarnock tonight.
No, it doesn't. I think Celtic might score quite a few goals tonight. On Saturday, Derek's quite right, it was a magnificent result for them, and they must have come off the field feeling completely sick at having read about Rangers being 28 players down and Rangers going and get such a fantastic result on Saturday. That must really have done Celtic in.
What about this for a scenario? If Rangers win the league with possibly a half a dozen games to go, the league say if you play a weekend side then you could be fined. So if Rangers win the league with 6 games to go and they decide to play their youngsters in the last 6 games, will the league fine them? I mean, it's a strange situation what they're doing here. I think they're going to have to settle this argument once and for all, certainly when the season finishes.
How do you resolve it though, Bill? What's your opinion on how they resolve this?
I think the league have to set a quota where they say if more than a certain percentage of your first team squad are unavailable through illness or injury, and I think it's got really, I think illness is the main factor rather than injuries, because it's potlucking injuries. Where there's a virus going through a club, if you have more than say a third of your squad out, it's unfair to expect the paying public to turn up and watch reserves playing in a match like that, and I think they must set a line after which the game's off.
See, the key thing here, Will, is that the league, they choose apprentices. Apprentices are one of the players, so if your apprentices are not ill, then you could play them. So why not play them at the end of the season?
The other factor was there was Walter Smith saying that he played the likes of George Alberts on Saturday with a calf injury. The chances are he could have lost him for maybe 6-7 games if he'd aggravated that. He brings Brian Laudrup out of his sick bed. If Laudrup goes down worse with the flu, he could be out for 4 or 5 weeks. It's totally wrong that the league are expecting guys to put their health at risk.
We were just hearing on the news yesterday about the top doctor saying if you do have this virus, the flu, we want you to stay in your bed, do no exercise, and yet you're asking players to come out their bed and play top-class football. They can only do themselves harm. It's an absolute nonsense.
Well, thanks, lads, for the moments. The controversy goes on and on.
But after their demolition job on Kilmarnock, there's no reason to think that Celtic won't play well at Tynecastle tomorrow. Cadets on fire and goals are coming freely from other departments. But Tommy Burns says it's simple. Goals mean points, and Celtic need both.
Yeah, I think the important thing for us is just to keep winning games, Jim. I mean, it's points and goals, and we want to do, get as many of those as we possibly can between now and the end of the season.
So goals are going in, but Celtic now have real entertainers in their side once more. Cadet is one, Di Canio, possibly the most flamboyant, is another. Here Burns pays tribute to the Italian.
I think he's a real passionate footballer. I think wherever he's played in Milan and Juventus, he's been very passionate in the way he plays the game. He's a great rapport with the supporters there, and I think he's just picked that up here as well because our supporters absolutely adore him.
And when things go right, Burns adores the job of managing Celtic. Yes, there will be pressure as usual tomorrow, but he is typically philosophical.
There's people in this world a hell of a lot worse off than me and got to live through a hell of a lot greater pressure than I do. I've got something that I love and I enjoy and look on as a great challenge, and I'll continue to do that.
The 11 players ill or injured, Bobby Williamson described last night's visit to Parkhead as mission impossible. Sadly though for Killie, this tape won't self-destruct after 10 seconds. One early let-off here, Georges Cadet had that one disallowed after just 7 minutes. But 10 minutes later, no such luck for the visitors. The Portuguese star claimed his and Celtic's first. Classic Route 1 effort, that. Midway through the first half now, and Jackie McNamara picked up the ball fully 25 yards out. Clearly, he wasn't in the mood to mess around last night. Celtic's playmaker was Paulo Di Canio. He didn't score, but he was on form. Not bad, that, for a man in sand shoes. No more goals, though, until midway through the second half. Celtic made it 3 here. Cadet again monopolising on more sluggish defensive work. Here's the fourth. Morten Vikor's second in as many games. Celtic's second sub, Chris Hay, made it 5, 2 minutes from the end. A bit of a gift, that one. Then on the final whistle, Cadet collected his hat-trick, but by that time the Killie players were probably dreaming of the M77.